Hello everyone, welcome to my Amphibia Season 3B Thoughts Reaction video. Do not watch this if you have not seen Season 3B of Amphibia, especially the last few episodes, because I'm going to reference those a lot and they're big spoilers. I'm happy that this didn't finish at the same time as I'll have Season 2, because I didn't want to have to make like 2 videos at the same time, and I've already got like finals to deal with, which I should be focusing more on that, but I don't know, this is more important to me. Whoops. Without further ado, let's begin. The episodes were all good. Some were better than others, but unlike Season 3A, there were none this time around that I outright disliked. I was right that the first episode of 3B would involve them getting back to Amphibia. It was literally called Escape to Amphibia. The episode did a good job wrapping up the Earth plot threads. It was sad to see the state Amphibia is currently in. It's all wrecked. There was less filler and more plot than the first half of the season, but there was still some filler. It kind of reminded me of Centaur World Season 2, where like the first half of that was like focused on finding people for the resistance, and like that's kind of what Amphibia Season 3B was like at the beginning. Once again, a good balance between action and dialogue scenes. That's always something the show's done a good job at. It's good to see all 3 of the girls working together again, and they all have God mode powers. Beautiful, beautiful. All the stuff with the backstory that you finally see is nice. It's good that the heroes finally become aware of their destiny. I think they could have changed the intro after you Escape to Amphibia, like maybe make it a dark version of the original intro where they're just bouncing around Amphibia, but it's all ruined. I don't know. There were some references throughout that I liked, especially when Anne was doing a Darth Vader Rogue One moment. This part's gonna be long. Favorite episode? The Hardest Thing, obviously. I mean, the beginning of the end and all in and the hardest thing is all kind of one big finale split into 3 parts, but of the 3, the hardest thing is my absolute favorite. I can't talk about everything in these 3 episodes, but some highlights: the flashback at the beginning, Anne and Sasha evaluating their friendship with Marcy, the resistance fighting the army, the Mossman showed up, Olivia and Yunin return, Anne outsmarting Darcy for a bit, Polly rebuilding Frobo, she's so smart now, I love it. The flashback where Marcy met Andreas, the Boon Choice wearing armor suits, and accepting who she is, Sasha and Grime versus Darcy, Anne versus Andreas, everyone cheering Anne on to K-pop music, Marcy fighting back against the Core, Leaf's letter, the trio reuniting, Triple God mode, the space anime fight with no big deal playing in the background, Andreas fighting back and using the spell to defeat the Core. She fades away and wakes up in this purgatory world and talks to the Guardian voiced by Charlene Yee, aka Ruby. The trio saying goodbye to everyone and leaving. The time skips. I was right about that. Not right about the worlds being connected part, but the time skips I predicted, so 50-50 ain't bad. We see Amphibia a few years later. It's all rebuilt and grassy again. Polly is a full frog. Bessie and Joe Sparrow had a kid somehow. What?
I don't know if I like this.
We have a 10-year time skip on Earth, which it's a bit confusing because they're like, oh, it's been 10 years since the Frogvasion, or whatever they called it. But then it's like, oh, it's Anne's birthday, so no, it's 10 years since they went to Amphibia, but not 10 years since the Frogvasion. It would have been like 9.5. Just a little pothole. Anyway, we see the 23-year-old Calamity trio, which just so heartwarming. And, of course, the special end credits with the 10 years older version of the picture. Personally, it's one of the best finales I've ever seen of any show. Not the absolute best. So far, nothing has beaten Sozin's Comet, but this comes close. Thought Hot Pop and Grime were gonna die. With Grime, they really had a cop-out. Like, not that I wanted Grime to die, but still. Anne didn't lose an arm, Sasha didn't lose an eye. Grime didn't lose an arm. It's not my favorite episode, but I have to give an honorable mention to The Core and the King. That was some great backstory stuff with Andreas and Leaf and Beryl. They were probably cool. I mean, why not? Least favorite episode of 3B? Maybe Sprivey? It wasn't anything too great, but it wasn't bad either. Like I said, this half of the season, there wasn't any episodes I actually disliked. We got nothing canon in terms of romance between the trio, which is a bit disappointing, but it means that we, the fans, are able to work with whatever pairings we want. I ship Sasha and Arcee, but if you only ship 2 of them, then that's fine. Ship them whichever way you want. The story's about friendship, not romance, so don't be salty. We see that they haven't seen each other for a while before the time skip, but they can easily become close again and find a new romance. Sasha's got a bi flag on her mirror. Also, the Calamity box was destroyed. No more God mode. Why? But I'm confident Polly can build a new portal. You're doing great. And it's back to her old outfit, which, I mean, is the more iconic outfit, but I'm gonna miss this shirt. She's truly become the leader she's meant to be. She learned to love herself. Further use of God mode. thought Anne was going to react when Mrs. Boonchoy pretended to stab her in a scene that clearly mirrors the one from True Colors, but she didn't. She also didn't go into berserker rage upon seeing Darcy, so I was wrong about that. She died, but came back. I mean, Sasha almost died in Reunion. Marcy pretty much died in True Colors. Now it's Anne's turn. Our beloved Anne actually died. Like, for real, and she's gone. The current Anne is just a copy. She'll be the real Guardian after 78 years. Can she do it with her GFs, though? She became a herpetologist after 10 years, which is nice. She had a frog named Sprig. Sprig had some good stuff. Sprivy was a cute episode. Grimes' People was a good episode. Sprig episodes in general were like better when the show was simpler, but he's had some good stuff here. After the time skip, he kept a guide of his and Anne's adventures, and then he and Ivy are gonna set out to explore a new uncharted continent. That's cool. Polly can get very violent as usual, like that weapon check scene. She continues to be a genius engineer, and she grew up. Hop Pop, he did a good job helping whenever he can, despite his old age. That plant episode was creepy. When they woke up in the beds, my immediate thought was, I don't like this! He's just chilling with Sylvia at the end. The planters all overcame their traumas to fight and defeat the herons. That was nice to see. Sasha, she has longer hair with her natural color poking through. Very controversial opinion, I prefer Sasha's original hairstyle, but so does her voice actress, Anna Kenna, so I'm not the only one. Anyway, we stan our Chad buff Amazon Queen. She finally gives Anne a proper apology, continues to be a full-fledged hero. Sasha Ann moments before Marcy was rescued were cute. I agree with everyone that she shouldn't have been able to stand after Darcy sliced her back open. She got God mode in the last episode, and like her hair ponytail was like a flame. That was awesome. After the time skip, she became a psychologist for children. She helps them deal with issues because she has her own experience dealing with issues. Marcy, she wasn't doing too good in the past. Anne and Sasha didn't make an effort to understand her interests back on Earth. She was trapped in her own mind by the core, but she eventually rebelled. Anne and Sasha may not have been the greatest of friends before, but they reaffirmed their friendship and they'll all do better. Marcy won't be selfish anymore. She accepted that she may have to move on from her friends. She got her own God mode, which, of course, is amazing. After the time skip, she's an artist now. She has her own webcomic, probably about Amphibia. You know, she should make her own video game about it, like Vagabondia Chronicles, the Amphibia edition. Grime, he's Sasha's dad. He had a good episode with Sprig, that was a good one. He sacrificed his arm and not himself. He recovered pretty quickly, but he can't play the harp anymore. Such a tragedy. Andreas, he had an interesting backstory. If you told me before Season 3B started that I would be feeling sorry for him, I would have laughed it off, but yeah, no, I'm kind of feeling sorry for him. He was so desperate for his father's approval that he became just as bad as his ancestors. At first, I didn't think he deserved to be redeemed, but after watching the last two episodes, I changed my mind. Overall, they did a great job with him. He's a great villain. One thing I can say is that I don't think his young voice didn't fit. Like, maybe it's just because I just associated it with Hunter, but it just didn't sound right to me. The core, as Darcy, they reminded me a bit of Entrapted, just like working on evil stuff, but quirky as hell. You know, Matt Brealey says Amphibia is about change, and the core is the antithesis of everything the show stands for. It wants to maintain the status quo, and if it can, it'll destroy everything, Majora style. It lost because it didn't understand people can change. The Wartwoodians, they toughened up. Buff Loggle and Feral Toady were highlights, though we lost them both by the finale. I like that Sprivy got an episode, they're so adorable. They were really cute in the finale, too. Olivia and Union showed up for the finale. They were mind-controlled, but they were free. They finally got together during the time skip. The Boonchoys, great supportive parents, they wore armor for the final battle. Sasha and Marcy's parents did not appear. I still stand by my old theory about Sasha imitating her parents, it just seems natural. And apparently Marcy still moved! Frobo, he was on wheels at first, but gets a full upgrade later in purple-clad armor. The humans introduced in 3A, it was good to see them all helping an escape to Amphibia, and in All In, Maggie even appeared for a few seconds. All the Maggie stands went crazy. About like the new characters, you got Mother Ohm, she was cool. I think she looks like an axolotl more than an Ohm, but she reveals the prophecy and explains some cool stuff. You have Leaf and Barrel, they were good characters. Sad to see that Leaf had to take the box away. The destruction she saw wouldn't have happened if she didn't do that. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Leaf is a planter ancestor. Her note was sad, yet heartwarming. And you got my boy Barrel, he deserved better. You have Aldrich, who was creepy as hell and helped give Andrea some depth. And you got this Guardian, a very, very unexpected character, but I do like the idea of a Celestial Guardian that Anne will eventually succeed, though there's some issues with it. It's like, why didn't you help before? Valeriana finally returned in the finale. She helped Sasha and Marcy unlock the God mode. Tritonia also came back, so did Domino 2 and Apothecary Gary. Percy and Braddock didn't come back, but they were mentioned at least. My final thoughts. As mentioned before, the show had a great ending, very beautiful. My overall favorite character is Marcy, but Polly is a close second. Least favorite character, maybe Robert Otto. I did not like that episode. The tone of the show changed as it went on. You know, season 1 was pretty episodic, but after that it became increasingly serialized. 2B was my favorite part of the show for a while, but 3B is my definite favorite now. Eventually I'll do a video talking about the unanswered questions on the show, you know, like, who is Dr. P? How do they know about the Calamity Box? I'll probably also talk about the stuff that happened during this time skip and beyond. There's a new continent to explore, and Anne will be the Guardian. Can't you do it with Sasha and Marcy, though? I'll wait until after Marcy's journal is released, though, since, just like Journal 3 in the Magic Book of Spells, that's bound to cover stuff that the show didn't discuss. I'll also be doing a couple of videos related to Amphibia, like I'll compile like different characters' first and last quotes and intro variations. I also have an idea for like a short fanfic to write about Anne being the Guardian, so check the link in the description for that. I will enjoy rewatching the show over and over again in the future. I thank Matt Braley and all the Amphibia cast and crew for this wonderful experience. The hardest thing is saying goodbye. My next video will be I'll have season 2B, and I'll be on vacation when Kingside airs. I won't be able to record something quick at the hotel like I did last time I was on vacation, because this is like thoughts about many episodes and only clips, so I'm gonna have to like wait a bit for that. But I'll see you then. Like, subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.